on Tuesday tip, wanted to talk to you about the weather. Man, it's Georgia, it's turning off cold. People don't really think about their landscape or their plants. So just wanted to kind of go over a couple of tips to help you with that outdoor living, the outdoor landscape, especially if you've invested a lot of time, money, and energy and effort into that yard. Here's the winter time, it's cold, it's hard. We're looking for some freezing temperatures in the next couple of days. Just wanted to go over, give you some ideas on those plants. So make some recommendations. Use plant material that's hardy. So if you're in that transition zone in Georgia, where sometimes we get nice warm summers, sometimes we get hard cold winters, you want to make sure that you use plants that are going to hold up to that hardiness of the zone. Always check and look at the plant hardiness and look at the UGA hardiness zones. The USDA also has those, and they will allow you and tell you what plants need to be planted in what zones to give you a better understanding. So always make sure, number one, that your plant that you have can survive in the environment in which you're planting. So keep that in mind. Number two, stop fertilizing your grass and stop fertilizing your plants. A lot of people will say, well, we fertilize all through the winter, and the answer to that is stop doing those things, because what you're doing is you're giving the plant nutrients and fertilizer, and then that grows new growth, and then that new growth freezes. And so when that new growth freezes, then when it thaws back out, you have winter kill or frost damage to the plant itself, to a particular plant. So keep that in mind. Don't fertilize your grass. So protect your plants as well from some of those other areas as well. So if you have plants that are going to get windblown or cold damage, kind of keep in mind, put them up against a fence. If you have those very finicky or plants that you want, but you're really not sure how they're going to do with our cold temperatures, put them up against fence, barriers of some sort along those lines to maintain that. So it's all about good selection of plant. Stop fertilizing your yards and stop fertilizing your plants. And then also, here's another really good idea, is go ahead and cover those plants. So if you've got some plants out there in the yard that are very particular, they don't really like the cold, then my recommendation to you would be to go ahead and get you some plastic, wrap those plants tonight, get them covered up, because it's going to get cold, and that moisture on the plants, it could be as simple as the dew or frost, can very easily damage those plants. And we really won't know that they're damaged until we get through the season and get into the year to find that half the plant's dead because of the damage from the winter. And another thing to keep in mind, those of you that grow planter pots and container gardens, you got those container gardens around the house and in the backyard, be very, very cautious with those, because they will take a lot more damage than any other plant material during the winter. Even if you say, well, oh, this is a hardy plant. Those plants' roots are exposed inside of that pot. They're not in the ground. So they are not staying warm by the earth's core. They are in that pot. So that pot will very easily turn off cold. Those roots will be cold. And then that in itself will result in those plants dying because of basically the roots are freezing inside of that container. I know that most people know this. It's pretty common sense. But at this time of the year, cut your irrigation system off. We're having 18-degree temperatures tomorrow morning here in Georgia. And with that 18-degree temperatures, if your irrigation is running, then you're going to damage your turf. Basically, you freeze that. And it's just like anything else. That plant needs to absorb water. It needs to be able to breathe. And then when you throw that water to it and it freezes on there, great, it's a wonderful wonderland. But you also are doing damage and stress to your turf, to your plant material, and those sort of things. Not including causing probably some issues of slip and fall, or somebody falling because it's now turned to ice, and those kind of things. So just as we prepare for the winter weather, make sure that you keep those simple things in mind. Cover your plants the best you can. Cover those containers. Get them in the garage. Put them in the house. Put them in the garage. I know a lot of people say, well, I put them in the garage, but there's no heat in there. That's perfectly fine. Just get those containers into the garage. If they're too big and you can't move them, wrap them with some plastic so that they can be protected from the elements and from the cold itself. Stop fertilizing. Don't fertilize your stuff yet. Try to keep that hold back on that, and then also keep in mind some of those other tips as far as planting the right plants, covering them, using them in the right positions in the right place in the yard as well. So if you need any help with any other landscape ideas or issues, please give us a call. We're more than happy to help you.